Hi, naked author, Author-JasonWilliamMitchinerGalbraith, greatest author of my generation, GAOMG. Just want to go over with everything that I'm trying to accomplish in 2026 when I go to Scotland with my 10th book, second trilogy, is I'm also going for the title for 21st Century Scottish Warrior. And it's a title that my ancestors had all earned, and in the 21st century I believe that I have all of the qualifications to have earned that title by arts and athletics, everything that I've done. And I've written right here, this was to the Scottish Parliament. I've written to the Order of the Thistle, Lord Lion King of Arms, Scottish Parliament, all the clans. And I wrote this, is that, hi, I'm trying to reach the chief executive in the first instance of the Scottish Parliament. I'm trying to see if there's a new Scottish warrior honor for arts and athletics that can be created in the 21st century for all displaced Scottish descendants in America, Australia, Canada, and elsewhere in the world. I've contacted the Order of the Thistle and UK Honors Appointments, Lord Lion King of Arms. I've been told to reach out to the chief executive in the first instance, the Scottish Parliament. And they're all saying like that they don't have a title like that, but they can create one. I mean, everything that I've written and I've created myself, writing all my books, they can create one. Use AI, have them generate it for you. But all of my ancestors, who I'm descended from, I mean, for me to find out that I'm this Scottish and that I have ancestral castles. That's a Bardowie castle. My ancestral birthright as a Galbraith. The people that own the Bardowie castle right now, this is the Bardowie castle, and it's owned by his client Alex Fairfull, who's made his fortune in the fruit and veggie industry, has owned Bardowie castle for 30 years. That's not a Galbraith. And I'm doing everything in my power to be able to purchase my ancestral castle from this fake fruit family that's in my ancestral castle. And I'm going to do everything that I can also to earn the title of Scottish Warrior in the 21st century. I'm a direct descendant of this guy. I think everybody in Scotland knows who Robert the Bruce is. This is my DNA that's all been confirmed by Family Tree DNA, by all of the moderators that do this, the University of Strathclyde. They all know what this DNA is. It's BY19223. When you look that up right there, it's Robert the Bruce. Only 108 customers out of over 6 million users are this closely paternally related to Robert the Bruce. When I found out that I'm a Galbraith, and from my maternal side, her father, it's a direct paternal lineage from her father on to the beginning of Loch Lomond and the island of Galbraith, Galbraith, and the beginning of the whole clan Galbraith. But because it comes from my maternal side, everyone's saying I don't have a right to all my castles, titles, and lands. When I looked at my paternal side and found out I'm a direct Y male descendant of Robert the Bruce, then all this jealousy, gaslighting came after me from professors at the University of Strathclyde in genealogy that know my DNA, and they know how closely I am related to Robert the Bruce, King of Scots, on my paternal side. Then when I sent my DNA to the family of Bruce, the House of Bruce, they said, Jason, check all your Bruces and see if you're the Clackmannan Bruces. And that's what I did. That's where the royal line is today. Our chief right now of the family of Bruce, House of Bruce, is from this line, this Clackmannan Bruces. And you can follow my lineage, my direct ancestors, all from my paternal side. From that's me to my father to my grandfather, all the way to the Boggs that used to be the Livingstons, a very powerful family in Scotland that was exiled to Londonderry, to the Walkers, to this guy right here, this George Walker. He was the governor of Londonderry, and he married Barclay, the father of Barclay, married Margaret the Bruce. Margaret the Bruce is from Robert the Bruce of Blair Hall of the Clackmannan line. And that is the biggest one right here, Jane Jane Walker and Joseph Boggs. And when you look at this right here, this is Joseph Boggs, my ancestor, and this is Jane Walker, both from Londonderry. If you're a Walker from Londonderry, you're there because of George Walker. This is the great-granddaughter of George Walker that fought and died at the Battle of Boyne, and also of Joseph Walker, who's a descendant of John Livingston that was exiled to Londonderry. So Londonderry is very key. I write about this part of Ireland in my book before I even knew who I am. Wrote about the most famous pirate, Captain Kidd, in my book. And in my second trilogy, 10th book, I'm tying in all of my real ancestors that you can trace all the way to the Bruces right here. Barclay, Robert Bruce, George Walker, George with Barclay to the Boggs, all the way to me, to Jason Mitchiner. And again, all of this is documented that anybody can see this. This guy, George Walker, you can see that he was married to Barclay, and Barclay, her dad, was married to Margaret Bruce, and the Bruce of Robert the Bruce of Blair Hall, Clackmannan, all the way to Robert the Bruce Lidsondale, to Robert the Bruce, King of Scots, all on my paternal side. So I have everything through DNA, family trace, to the greatest Scottish warrior and king Scotland has ever seen. And I have from my Galbraith side also that fought, that I'm a direct descendant of, that was written by other people, not me, about their fight in the Revolutionary War. And this talks about they played the unpopular role of Tories. The Galbraiths did, my ancestors. They fought for the British in the Revolutionary War, because if the British won, then my Galbraith ancestors would get all of their ancestral castles, titles, and lands back. Of course, they lost, and then it says here that they were the unpopular role of Tories. But in North Carolina was made uncomfortably hot as a place of residence for them by returning heroes of that war after peace was declared. Kentucky, they found even more hostile. So they were heroes of the Revolutionary War. They survived it all, even though they lost, and they were, really unpopular, obviously, with all of the revolutionary people that fought against the British. And my ancestors were one of them. Actually, my ancestor from Robert the Bruce, this guy, Joseph Boggs, that married Jane Walker, the Walkers from Londonderry, that again, Reverend George Walker, that's married to Barclay that's married to the Bruces of the Clackmannan, that I can trace all the way right to Robert the Bruce, King of Scots. This just talks about Joseph Boggs. I was married to Jane Walker, my ancestors from Londonderry. He either died in battle or was executed by the British. He was called a regulator. He was exiled to Londonderry, then left with Jane Walker, a little Romeo and Juliet thing, to America, and was executed by the British. Then his son Aaron Boggs, right here, fought in the Revolutionary War against the British, and you can trace that whole lineage right there. Joseph Boggs, Jane Walker, to Aaron Boggs that fought in the Revolutionary War, to his son that fought in the Civil War, and all of my ancestors that fought in World War I, fought in World War II. My biological father was in Special Forces. Everything that I've done in the 21st century, I believe, qualifies me for a 21st century Scottish warrior. And that is the title that I'm coming after when I go to Scotland with my 10th book, second trilogy. I have all the DNA. I have all the proof on my maternal side, unbroken male lineage from the Galbraiths on my maternal side, and then I have the Bruce side with my Y-DNA. Everybody from the University of Strathclyde can all see that. I've written a trilogy with the greatest pirate of Scotland and descends from the Kingdom of Strathclyde that my Galbraith ancestors also come from. All in my trilogy, and in my 10th book, I bring the Boggs, the Walker, the Bruces, my Galbraith ancestors, Captain Kidd, all together and connect my book over 20 years. There's no other author that has ever done anything like this, that is doing anything like this, that I'm the only one, and that will ever be able to do this. I've used all of my DNA, writing my stories, not by AI, not by a ghostwriter. All of this content, trilogies, was all done by me. And I'm coming to Scotland to be recognized as a 21st century Scottish warrior for all of my arts, everything that I've written. And Scotland should appreciate writers, authors, and warriors. Paternal side, it's unquestionable, undeniable, through DNA, through all the records. I'm a descendant, male descendant of Robert the Bruce, King of Scots, and I'm a Galbraith. That can't be disputed either, all with the unbroken paternal lineage all the way to the beginning of Clan Galbraith. I ran the LA Marathon in my Galbraith kill with a biological mother that hated me for being born, my Clan Galbraith that was all mad at me because I'm trying to claim all of my ancestral castles, titles, and lands, but because it's my maternal side, they're saying I don't have that. Then when I went with my paternal side, all these jealous professors from University of Strathclyde, from administrators, everything, came at me, and they know my DNA. They know I'm a descendant of Robert the Bruce, and they were trying to gaslight me, and I had to hand it to all those people and shut them down. I ran the LA Marathon with this heart condition. I have to have surgery again on my heart. You don't want to have cancer. You don't want to have heart surgery or brain surgery. Those are the big ones you really don't want. I ran the LA Marathon with this heart condition, with heart surgery in the future, knowing I could die with each step that I ran the LA Marathon with a copy of my 10th book, second trilogy, in my ancestral Galbraith kilt. And I fought my MMA, all my fights, and won. First I was diagnosed with, right here, it's stage 3, malignant melanoma, at least stage 3 cancer. And then it freaking got upgraded to stage 4. Stage 4 cancer, that's not good. I beat cancer and still fought in the cage for no money, just for pride, just for all of my drive to knock out anybody that stands in my way. I knocked out my opponent right before I turned 40 years old after defeating stage 4 cancer. That is a 21st century Scottish warrior. Running the LA Marathon with my 10th book, second trilogy, in my ancestral Galbraith kilt, that I didn't even know I was Scottish. I have tattoos of the greatest warrior in Spain, El Cid, and an Irish tattoo, thinking I was Irish and Spanish from an old National Geographic DNA test I did in 2006, just to find out recently, with all the new progress in the 21st century with DNA, exactly, they have Robert the Bruce's DNA. I match exactly Robert the Bruce's DNA. It's unquestionable. And they don't have the DNA of our chiefs from Clan Galbraith. That's why we don't have a chief. So I was suggesting, let's all vote on it. And everybody got mad because mine comes from my maternal side. Whatever. I have the paternal Robert the Bruce. Everything that I've done, from running the LA Marathon with a heart condition, knowing every step I took, I could feel the tightness in my heart. I could die of a heart attack, die of a stroke, and I did it anyway. And I called out radio fools that were trying to bully me with writing books and promoting them. Like, what? Those little jealous, idiotic people can't ever do what I've done, what I am doing, and what I will do. No other author ever will. everybody should be supporting me. And I don't understand anybody that doesn't support me. I disdain every ounce of you on planet Earth. Anybody that doesn't support me, all I want to do is take my ancestral claymore and play a game of tag. I have an island right here, Clan Galbraith, and we'll play like an old ancestral game. With my claymore, I just want to play tag with you. And I'll tag you with my claymore, take your head, just like my ancestors of Picts, tell you you're it, and then punt your head off of my ancestral island, Clan Galbraith, Island of Galbraith in Loch Lomond. That's all I want to do to anybody that doesn't support me. Again, what I did also for everybody that got fired during the pandemic by Rupert Murdoch. I made Rupert Murdoch pay $1.47 million to everybody that he fired during the pandemic. If that's not a Scottish warrior, you're never going to know another author in your lifetime or ever that made Rupert Murdoch pay $1.47 million to everybody he fired. You're never going to find an author that connected his DNA over 20 years and then wrote about it ever. In Ireland, I have the Bruce, the Boggs, the Walkers, the Galbraith, Captain Kidd. They're all here. It'll never ever happen again. I'm the one that's doing it all. It's all on YouTube documented, and newspapers written about by journalists that understood my fight that as a Scottish warrior in the 21st century against the big publishers, Random House, now against AI. AI that's machine learning, it's only going to get better. Real authors writing my real content, we're a dying breed. I've done it, and I should be supported by every journalist, every writer, everybody that sees this video over 20 years. I have like one like, one follower, one book sold. It blows me away. Everybody should be supporting the David. You don't like, I mean, Robin Hood? You know, like, this is your Anastasia story. Right here. You guys don't like Anastasia? You don't like freaking Robin Hood? Like, I defeated King John, Rupert Murdoch, the 1% rich minority that rules the 99% poor poverty majority. All of us. I did that. I defeated stage 4 cancer, knocked out my opponent in the cage before I turned 40. All documented, recorded the fights, all on YouTube. I ran the LA Marathon with AFib, a heart condition that I'm going to have surgery again. And if I die on July 18th, I die as a warrior, fighting for everything that I'm going after with my books, my ancestral castles, titles, and lands. And I expect Scotland to acknowledge me. Create it. You say you don't have it? 21st century, we have the technology. Have AI create a brand new title. You can do it, Scotland. I'm coming in 2026, and depending on how Scotland, everybody receives me, I'm coming to rip your hearts out. I'm going to make you cry so hard and rip your heart out like my heart is getting ripped out to have surgery on July 18th. I expect when I go to Scotland to be given the title of 21st century Scottish warrior. And with support, I plan on getting my Galbraith ancestral Bardowie castle back from the fake fruit family that's occupied it for 30 years. I hope you support me, you share my story. It's been on YouTube for 20 years, dude. You can support me, bro. All the other people that can support, that don't even write their own books, ghostwriters, AI, oh my God. Cheers.